Yeah. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Tone Time Podcast.
We are back.
I'm Luis Munoz.
Go ahead.
And
Sorry.
this is...
I'm Johnny Gomez with Cute Rigs. I am
Cool.
Cute Rigs.
You
Sorry.
are Cute Rigs.
What did you got, dude? What's going on?
All right, man. So how was your week? What's going on?
Stressful, dude?
Stressful week, I see.
Yeah. I thought, you guys ever hear of the Copper Bandits? It felt like a Twilight Zone episode, to be honest.
That's so funny.
You want me to tell us?
Yes,
I got it, because I had to deal with it first.
Yeah.
How come I always have to deal with all this shit that happens around here?
Because you're always on time, dude.
So I get here, meet a client, work on a pedal board or whatever. And when I got here outside, we had a downed, what looked like a power line. I was like, stay away from that. And there's an unhomed family.
It's like a mother and son. And they've been living like out of their car for like...
I think on our street.
3 years.
2 or 3 years now. And, obviously... whatever. Don't want to be critical or anything. We respect their space. As long as they respect our space. We try to just like stay out of each other's way. They're our neighbors technically in a way, so whatever. Up until recently, they've kind of just done their own thing and we didn't have to worry about it so much, but they're getting a little more, I guess, social and
loosey-goosey.
I guess you could say. So I was trying to work with our client and she tends to do this and I try to be nice and I try to be cool. But if I'm ever talking to someone outside of the shop or if the glass door is open, she just comes up and starts talking to you with no consideration.
Which is so funny because she doesn't do that to me.
Oh, well, I attract those. I'm a magnet for that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So... and then she makes fun of me for being white and speaking Spanish. She calls me el güerito. Anyway, so I'm working with this guy, and she keeps like chiming in. And finally, I was like, "Give me a second. Let me just see what's going on." So finally, I just go outside, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" In Spanish, we're talking, and she was like telling me that all night long at like 1 a.m, she was telling me why the line was down, and she was like, "There's guys on your roof. They were trying to steal the copper. They go around the city and they open manhole covers or whatever, and they take copper, the cables and stuff like that, which is
a big issue in LA.
The whole street at night, there's no light. So already I'm like, that does happen. Okay, noted. And she's like, they came back and they were on your roof. They cut that cable down and they wanted to take it, but they're trying to break in. They were up there trying to find a way in. And then her son came by and he was like, yeah. Definitely, what they do is they cut your internet and then the cameras don't work and your alarms don't work and then they break in. And I was like, whoa, like this guy knows a lot about this stuff. So I'm getting a little nervous. And luckily they were speaking Spanish. My client didn't understand a single thing.
Your client's like...
he was like, why? He was like, why is he talking to these people? And I was like, oh, okay. And then he said, yeah, they harass the guy that owns the RV down the street all the time and they have guns. They pointed a gun at him and stuff and they threatened him. And so I'm like, whoa. So they were here at 1 a.m. trying to break in and stuff. So I call you and you're busy as hell doing stuff. And then you're like, great, I'll come by later and all this stuff. And so I had already left. You got here and then.
Yeah. So I'm at home, like... catching up on like house projects so my wife doesn't fucking yell at me anymore. And then I was sanding some table or something I promised her like 3 months
pregnant
ago,
dude. And she can't do that stuff.
No,
so
of course, but
she's
anyways,
not yelling at you, bro. She loves you.
That's true.
And I love her.
But anyways,
we love her.
Johnny's like, hey dude, he starts telling me the story and I was like, fuck, all right. And I mean, whatever, it's just part of living in LA. It's like
shit happens.
Dude, it sucks. That's not an excuse, but it is because it is true. It's like if you want to live in LA, this is just part, and it's all over the city.
Yeah.
Whatever. It is what it is. Anywho, this motherfucker calls me, tells me this story. I'm stressed the fuck out. I'm like, fuck. All right. Immediately, I'm like, I grabbed my phone and
the Wi-Fi wasn't working. I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
So some of what they said
was true.
Was lining up. Yeah.
So then I grab my phone. I'm like looking at the cameras. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna see something.
Right. Because you got a camera outside.
Yeah. I got a camera outside. I got a camera inside. I got cameras everywhere.
You got the Sammy?
Yeah. And then it's like, I was like, dude, what's up? And I have an alarm. Like, dude, I have
everything.
whatever. Yeah. We have a security gate outside.
All our windows have metal in front of them.
Everything, dude, I have insurance. People don't get scared. I have insurance. But again, this stuff does happen. Anyways.
Just to provide, confidence and, the only way in would have to be
if they drive in, like if they had a big ass
crash
truck,
in, or a tow truck yanks off the metal gate, and that's a whole scene.
Yeah, But anyways, I've been out here for almost 4 years at this location.
Yeah.
I've never had an issue.
Right.
Anyways, I'm stressed. I'm looking at the camera. I'm like, dude, I don't see nothing. Like nothing. And then at around 6, because I could, go back and then history, and then I lost signal at like 6:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, but this lady said that like they were like up on the roof at like 1, or like when I got here, I went to go talk to her. She had no clue who I was. I'm like, I see you every day.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't know how reliable she is. But anyways, I'm like, and then I hit up my neighbor, Eloy, one of the other businesses, a few storefronts down.
He's like obsessed with like security.
Well, this is what he does.
Okay.
Well, that's what, I don't know if you know that, but like that's what he does.
I didn't know
he
that.
installs cameras and alarm systems.
I was like,
and
this guy's got hella cameras.
So he has cameras all over the place, like the expensive type. So I hit him up and I texted him. I was like, yo, Eloy, like, did you see anything last night? And he's like, yeah, no, what's up? And I was explaining the story to him. And he's like, okay, well, when I get to the shop, I'll check it out. He's like, if they cut the internet, then my camera's recorded. Okay. Like, he's got, like, I got to record it, whatever, and I'll send you the footage. I was like, okay, cool. So, dude, I'm here, like, begging the internet company to come and fix the cable and all this stuff. Dude, and they're like, oh, we'll go back tomorrow. This was on a Monday, and it's like, we'll get on Tuesday. I was like, dude, no, like, you need to come, like, today.
Right.
I was, like, already, like, gonna spend the night here. I was like, dude, I felt like very, like, Home Alone, dude. It's like, these guys come back, dude. I'm gonna be ready for them, bro.
The sticky bandits, dude. Copper bandits.
The copper bandits, dude. And then, so I'm here. The internet company comes, and, the guy's like, yeah, man, dude, they really did a job on your shit. And I'm like, what? It's like, dude, they tore your cable up. I was like, damn, that's crazy. They fixed it. They replaced the cable. It was like a whole thing. They had to like bring like one of those cherry baskets, the cherry picker baskets or whatever. And dude, they were here like 2 hours fixing it. And in my head, I'm like, damn, these guys, they're like professionals.
Yeah.
Not professionals, but like I was just nervous. We were both nervous.
They really thought about this.
Yeah, anyways, like 9 p.m., dude. And
there's also, sorry to sidebar, I know a couple of people, there's been a rash of that happening, like people breaking into houses, cutting in the internet, and bypassing all this stuff. So
everywhere, all over the city,
made
dude.
sense right now.
Beverly, it doesn't matter where you live, dude. Like rich areas, it's like it's everywhere. Yeah. It's just part of it. This is why business insurance is so expensive. But anyways, finally, I'm like, you know what? I got the internet. I got it up and running. I got another alarm system. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna go home. Like, I think we're fine.
Sure.
And I'll just be vigilant from the house. And then right before I left, my neighbor sent me. He just texted me. I got a text from him. I was like, oh, great. And I looked at it, opened up, and it was just a video. And at 6:30 a.m., you just see a big ass semi, huge drive by, and then the trailer grabbed the cable and just yanked it. And that's what tore the effortless. And then he just kept driving. And then you see the cable just
boom.
And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I mean, it was like a sense of relief.
I know.
Because that's what it was. It's like, it was just a truck,
Right.
But dude, this poor lady, man, just I don't know, fabricated this crazy story of
And her
like I was
son.
picturing all these people like trying to break in, and because at the end of the day, dude, if someone whatever business and you
Right.
see it all the time, just like cars driving into a business and they
Mm-hmm.
just crash into it and they go in and anyways, so the copper bandits are yet to.
Wow.
Oh
What
my
a
god,
time.
dude! Yeah, but that's how the
Yeah.
week started.
When you sent me
man.
that video, I was like, what, what is all that for then? All that, they were like eccentric about it. They were like, dude, they're trying to, it's happening everywhere, man. And I was like, oh, I better tell Luis.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, dude! I was so relieved and then annoyed. I was
Yeah.
so like, fuck, man, he's just stressed me the hell
Yeah.
out.
Same.
But anyways, that's what it was. That's how the week started, and then yeah, just a busy ass week.
Busy week, man.
Busy week.
You got house calls.
I got house calls.
You were
I
working
did
at
Lawndale High School. We're developing like this like program where we're trying to teach kids about other careers other than just like the musician, you know. So we're like
Nice.
trying to develop like they put it's super cool. It's run by this guy Luis Rodriguez, Mr. Rod, and he lets the kids put on the whole show,
Nice.
like everything. So there's like a marketing team, there's like an audio team, there's a backline team, everything, lighting
awesome.
team. It's a lot of work, man. I was there starting Wednesday almost every day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the show was Saturday. It's just a lot of work, but it's cool, man. It's super like rewarding, but man,
So
Poopity-poop.
let's get this straight. Lawndale High School, you got clients. You're dealing with security issues. You're working on stuff at home.
we had to go and do some pre-production for Olivia's stuff
because you guys are leaving.
because
this
we're
Sunday.
leaving soon
Yeah.
to finish or start the second leg of this year, I guess. But a lot, man. It's it is funny because people are like, when people tell me, "Yeah, man, I'm just so busy," I'm like, I know people are busy, but
Yeah.
man, like it's like when you just plan it just so like,
Yeah.
it's
I feel you.
you had a busy week.
Yeah,
too.
it's pretty crazy. Between finishing a couple boards because I was leaving town Friday. Was it Friday? I think it was Friday, Saturday. I had just come back from Spokane, did a gig there,
Spoke Compton.
and then had to finish.
Speaking of robberies and things, sorry.
It was cool. It was chill. Got back, had to finish a couple boards, turned those in, left town, did a gig in San Francisco, got back, drove to Montecito, did a gig there. I was here yesterday working with another client, turned a board in, doing this today. Tomorrow, got a gig. Thursday, miraculously, I'm off.
Thursday.
Yeah. Friday,
You want to film another podcast?
another gig Friday, another gig Saturday, another gig Sunday. It's pretty crazy. Which
You like it?
do I like it? I'm grateful to work. I'm grateful to be in demand. I'm grateful that people trust me to do the work. But I feel like this leads into exactly what we're talking about, right? How somehow I feel like as musicians, creatives in the music biz, we're sort of raised to glorify the hustle culture, the rise and grind. And I feel like that affects people differently. I feel like a lot of people are online and social media and they're like, dude, I just did 10 gigs in 2 days in 10 different countries. And
I wonder who you're talking about.
nobody, dude. Nobody specific. But I don't know. How do you feel about do you love being that busy?
No, and it is funny. It's like I don't know if like I'm just getting older.
Why
probably.
do we do it still?
I don't know.
It
Maybe I
makes me
am
kinda
just
miserable.
getting older, but because at some point it just I don't know. It's like a nice distraction from like,
Sure.
or it just feels like it's like busy. Busy equals I'm like living my dream. I'm
Sure,
like
sure.
productive. I'm like this is
Yeah.
like the overcommitment of stuff. And I think the older I get, the more like I really just understand of how counterproductive it actually is in the
Yeah.
sense of like,
In the
oh,
long run.
actually everything that I just did this last week,
Yeah.
like nothing got like my 100%.
Yeah.
Whether I
Yeah.
want to admit it or not, that's just the
So,
truth.
Already, one, you didn't give everything 100%. So that makes you feel bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then two, are you tired?
Big time.
Does that affect your personal life, home life, and how so?
Yes, I am. I am lucky, or I guess because Moa, my wife, also.
Suffers from the same thing?
No, I mean she works in the industry too,
Yeah.
so she's like constantly, she's at a writing session.
Sure.
And she's doing this and that, and I think we meet at night and we kind of talk about our days, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like it's exhausting.
And you're like, yeah, and then
Yeah, I mean, it's like at some point, it's like like it's so funny because we're trying to watch. I can't remember what the hell we were trying to watch the other day, like, and then she's like, "You have it in you? You have?" I was like, "Yeah, easy." It's like
You
9
don't.
p.m., dude. It's like, I was like, "Yeah," and then I remember like watching it, and then at some point she was saying that you were like, she's like, after like 3 minutes, like you were like this,
Dude.
and then she would like wake me up, and she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" I was like, "You want to go to bed?" I was like, "No,
No, I
I'm
got
good.
this.
I got
babe.
this." And
I
like a
got
minute
this.
later, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like so gross, dude. It's so like, just go to bed, dude.
Just
You're
go to bed.
tired.
I think
So stupid.
it's actually really common. I think it's, what do they call it? Like,
stupid.
yeah, stupid. No, it's like it's a form of like FOMO, where it's like you try because you work all day long and you work hard, but you also have this FOMO for like just living and like doing regular stuff, and you really want to follow through with it, but you're just fried, I do find it interesting because early on, I feel like I got into. First of all, I want to clarify from both of us. There's no lack of gratitude for being in demand and considered for what we do. I think it's very cool. I think it's more a matter of just us working on boundaries and like knowing what we need and knowing how we operate and knowing what's going to affect us and how and when. But I do find I came up into getting busy as a guitar player at a time where social media started becoming, like specifically Instagram, I think, and maybe Facebook, started becoming the way you promote yourself, and started seeing all these people like pop up and, oh, doing this, I'm doing that, blah, 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 blah. And just seeing like, oh man, that dude's working like every day and this and that. That must be so cool. And feeling less than because I was like, I don't work that much. And now we know a lot of that stuff is fake, or they're actually doing all that. But then I'm wondering, are they really happy? Maybe I'm sure that life is for some people, but I wonder if people are just putting up a front, because I know how I feel. I know how you feel. I know how a lot of people feel about this kind of thing. And, I can't imagine that it just seems so exhausting at the end of the day. You do all this stuff and for what? I mean, I guess you make money. That's cool. And you grow your reputation, your resume, but
Money's nice.
But then at one point, like right now, after doing that for so many years, my shoulders are messed up. I can barely get through a gig sometimes without some pain. My feet hurt. I'm dozing off in the middle of trying to hang with my wife at home. It makes me less present. I'm stressed. Today, I'm pretty exhausted from going through all that stuff myself. And yeah, I don't know. What makes us do it?
I mean, I think it is kind of like embedded in the culture. Like, dude, you just got to work. You got to work.
Yeah.
You got to just, like, you got to get it while you got, all these things that you
There's
hear
that.
about. And it's like,
What if the calls don't come in next month?
but
let me get it all in now.
But it's not like I know like now that it's like it's not true.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and it's like I think it just takes I don't know, I guess experience to know that like oh, the reason you have work is because you're consistently great at what you're doing.
Right.
You know, but I think as a business owner, like, you know, now that I have like employees, like it's hard because I find myself doing more of like the paperwork, like
Sure.
the invoicing and like the calling people. And like I had a guy that dropped off 7 guitars while I wasn't here. And he just wanted, you know, like one of my guys signed them in. But he's like, can you just call me and we can kind of go through. I was like, yeah, for sure, you know. And it's like that day, I think I only had like 2 hours here before I had to go to the school.
Right.
So that's what I spent my 2 hours at the shop.
Meanwhile, your other stuff.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, I get it, but it's like just this overcommitting to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Is like, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Same.
I don't. It doesn't feel good.
Right.
Maybe that's the difference between someone like me and Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or all these people that you hear about that are like just like able to create these ginormous things that I can't even comprehend.
Yeah.
The busier you get, I think it's like I'm like realizing like, okay, what are the important things that I really just need to focus on?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's kind of heartbreak, but like learning to say no to things where I feel like a lot of people never learn that and they just say yes to everything.
It's not a bad thing. No, it's not bad.
But it's also hard. It's something that you really, like I said, confidently just
right.
You get to a point where you're just like, okay, I'm okay saying no to this.
Yeah.
Like, I think for me, you know, like we're about to have our first baby and I'm like, I'm very confident and comfortable saying no to touring.
Yeah.
For the coming future.
Sure.
For, you know, and it's like, feels good.
Yeah.
I'm like excited really to just like be home and really focus on this.
Yeah. Ultimately, it's going to let you give your best work to the people you're working with.
Yeah.
You know, I do talk about this a lot in my therapy sessions. I always say it's like, well, you know, I don't know what next month's going to, you know, we're all freelance. I don't know what next month's going to look like. So I better say yes to everything now, blah, blah, blah. But there is a point of being confident in that you're good at this thing and you care about it and you work hard. And so you are still going to get calls, you know, and I do find that because I used to subscribe to that and I was like 7 days a week, sometimes multiple things in a day gigging. This was before Cute Rigs even, trying to be a guitar player in LA. And it's messed me up so much that now when things are like steady or a little slow, I actually get depressed. I miss the chaos. And I feel and this is deeper, like what happens, I think, a lot with our kind of creative people, whatever. Our identity and our self-worth, or our identity and self-worth gets wrapped up in what we do. And if that is going slow or not well to our standards or what we think the standard should be, we then devalue ourselves because they're one and the same. And so I had to do a lot of work to try to separate those things. And but I'm still dealing with when things are just regular and normal and steady. You know, once you define what enough is, instead of going for, I need to do everything, and defining like, this is enough. I just need to be here and this is good. Once I started doing that, then the other side popped in where I was like, oh, I'm not going crazy. I'm not killing myself. Now I'm depressed because for some reason I feel like less than, which is so messed up.
Yeah.
Because
what was the last thing you said no to?
The last thing I said no to, honestly, it was recently. It was a deadline or something. They were like, "Oh, is there any way this can be done by tomorrow or 2 days or whatever?" And I said no. Unfortunately, it's I always say 2 weeks minimum, depending on the queue. maybe 1 week. But expect, 2 weeks max. Expect 2 weeks.
Do you do the rush fee thing then at that point? Do you even offer it, or you're just like, no?
That depends on the workload.
Got it.
If things are regular and I have a couple openings, then I'll say, you know what? Yeah, there's going to be a fee, an extra fee. But I even for the fee, I sometimes
It's not worth it.
I don't feel it. Maybe my fee needs to be more, but sometimes it's to a point where no amount of money is like I know how I feel. I need to veg.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't
For
do
sure.
that for you.
Yeah.
So I am not a rise and grind hustle culture guy, I guess. And
You used to be.
I used to be. I had to learn. Well, I used to be because I thought it was necessary.
sure.
Because all of the information in my world was telling me this is what you're supposed to look up to and do. Especially that my musical hero is Prince, who legend has it, slept 2 hours a day, ate a breadcrumb for breakfast, and then wrote 1,000 songs for the next 22 hours.
Fuck that.
And look at the stories and reputation, though. Like, that guy was not regular. That was a very unique person with...
Even if he was,
Yeah.
yeah, let's say that all that stuff is true, then
Sure.
it's like you have to ask yourself, is like, do you want that lifestyle?
Right. Do we want it, or are we just told we want it? You know, it's interesting. And so I just had to really just confidently say, that's not for me. I'm glad it works for other people, but we're allowed to be our own selves.
And that is a beautiful place to be in, man. When
Yeah.
you realize that,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it's pretty deep, I'd say.
yeah. We're messed up, dude.
No, I don't think so. I think it's, it's you know, like we're being very specific about our
Yeah,
area, but I think it's just a normal thing now in society, where it's just like everyone's just like, you just gotta go out there and hustle, and you're answering emails at like 10 p.m. and you know,
and we still do that sometimes.
I did that last week.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Ma was going to bed,
fall
and I'm
into it.
like, oh, I just got to reply to this one email, and it's like, man, you know, in LA, I think it's very
Prevalent.
Yep. You know, and when you're young, you know, it's like, I think it's going to be really kind of like shoved down your throat. And, you know, I tell like young techs, you know, and it is something that I feel that I believe. It's just like, you know, like to have this like famine mentality.
Dude, you taught me that. Actually, I use that all the time.
It's like, if you really, really think that like, you know, it's like a zero-sum game, meaning like, okay, if that guy has that much work, like, and I don't have that much work, that guy's winning. And I need to fight. I need to like really get out there and grind and do this. And it's like, dude, there's enough work for everyone.
Yeah.
And I truly, truly believe that. I don't want such and such clients. It's like, dude, if you're happy with your tech,
Cool.
stay over there. And sometimes you get like clients that are like, they'll come here and then they'll be like, they almost like kind of feel like they have to explain to me. It's like, yeah, you know, I mean, dude, I got this guy. I take my stuff. I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
Great.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't,
It's weird
I don't
how
need
that
it.
just comes up.
do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
like, I'm not trying to, I try not to talk bad about it, any other techs, you know, especially like when I see good work. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, yeah, that guy, that person's awesome.
Yeah.
Keep going to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
interesting.
I've found a nice kind of comfy little pocket right
getting
now.
there. Yep.
And I'm kind of just like cruising here.
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm happy.
With the occasional.
You gotta, you know what I mean?
fucked
And
up.
like we were saying yesterday, it's like, I'm happy that I have that gear in me. I'm happy that like when
Exactly.
it comes down to it, it's like, dude, if I
wanna
have
show up
to,
and
dude, I can
follow
do
through.
it.
Mhm.
You know, but for the most part, I know that if I stay in that gear, it's not good for me. It becomes counterproductive. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
And we both know a lot of people that have been in that fucking gear for years.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That thing is welded in that gear.
bro, you gotta, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, you gotta, and some people just don't know how. Or people will be like, you said it. It's like, oh yeah, we're taking a vacation, or I'm taking a break. And then next thing you know, and they're on Instagram and they're like on some other tour. And it's like, dude, what happened to that break?
Yeah. Yeah.
But to each is their own.
Yeah.
You know,
It works for some people.
Yeah, I think if there's anything that you take from this episode, short and sweet, as it's not necessary, and especially if you sit down and you define what success means to you.
Exactly. What's enough?
You know, it's like, okay, dude, you're good, man.
Yeah.
You're good, and longevity over like just trying to just go out there and just, you know, not to bring him up, but I don't know, maybe Giacomo kind of maybe fell into that. This like necessity to like, dude, I just gotta, even if it means cheating.
Sure.
I gotta be at the top.
Interesting. Okay.
Versus like, you know, dude, just you'll get there. If you're talented, if you're honest, if you're like, you'll inevitably get where you want to be. It's just, it's not a race. And, you know, I'm saying all these cheesy life
true, though.
quotes, but
it's a matter of, like you said, defining enough, defining success. And maybe that's part of it for some people. Maybe they're just like, I just want to be on the road all the time. Cool. I think it's a matter of just being honest with yourself and knowing what that is. And it's okay if your thing is not like their thing.
Yeah. Don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad. If you got one gig, dude, and
Kill
you're
it.
enjoying it,
Kill it.
kill it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But go.
Deep, man.
Yeah, that
Awesome.
was deep. Well,
Enrique, are you satisfied?
He's as he works on some other gig.
This guy over here talking about I have to finish 10 podcasts in the next 1 hour.
But no, I guess that one was just short and sweet. I like it.
Yeah. Well, if you guys got any more topics, feedback, comments, let us know what your experiences are, how you've overcome some, if you figured out that didn't work for you, and or if you're into it, let us know how you make it work. I'm very curious.
Yeah, and stay tuned for the Copper Bandit. See if we catch him or not.
Yeah, the non-existent
Copper Bandits.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. Until next time.
Peace out.
Peace.